You are welcome to my healthy food place, where we share ideas and recipes on how you can stay healthy naturally. I am Grace Enemali, and today we want to talk on the two types of moringa leaves. Yes, look at it. This is moringa oleifera. Yes, we all know this moringa, but not many people are familiar with this. So we are going to look briefly. I will be sharing with us briefly the various ways that moringa affects my health. You see, moringa leaf has not always been known or popular, but it has been in existence, yes, but because there is actually nothing that is new under the earth. But I will tell you when I got to know of moringa. I think that was around 2011 or so, when the awareness of moringa reached me as a person, and when I began to explore the benefits of consuming this miracle leaf. As at that time, there were so many excitement, so many, we were creating awareness, talking about it and all of that. A lot of people just got to know of moringa then, just like us. And some people just jumped into the moringa because of the wonderful things they heard about it. And a good number also stopped when they saw the ugly side and the negative sides of it. It's a very healthy food, the moringa oleifera. But then I want to share how I got to know this. Most of the things that we talk about or we know today, a good number of them were actually discovered somehow by accident. That's just exactly what I tell you, by accident. By accident, I mean maybe you were trying to get to something else and eventually fell into the hands of another one and found out its benefits. Such foods like the yogurt was one of such foods. You can go and do your own study. So I got to know this moringa leaves that way, and I will also talk about it. But what are some of the ways that moringa as a food benefits me? You can also drop your comment. Moringa is dense in nutrition. Now, it's no longer news that it's very high in vitamin A, sometimes far more than carrots. It's a rich source of iron. It contains a lot of anti-inflammatories. We are not going to be looking into all of these benefits that we learned by the research says it has. Not just research, but we have used it also and found most of these things to be true. But the occasions when I normally go for moringa is not one of my daily vegetables, because it is a blood thickener and it's too dense. Now, when a food is too dense, you don't have to be consuming it every day like that, because your body may not have need of all the nutrients, including the micronutrients. You remember it has complete amino acids. Now, when you are fighting a disease, a very debilitating disease, it is a time to go for moringa. Now, when you are fighting diseases, most times, you don't need carbohydrates. You don't need oils and fats. And that is the time to take this vegetable seriously. Now, there are occasions, one of such occasions when I benefit from moringa a lot, if I suspect that my body is extremely acidic. It does happen, even occasionally. When I suspect it and I want to deal with it, maybe the fat in the body is too much. Remember, sometimes the fats may even be unhealthy fats. Like when you consume peanuts or foods like cashew nuts. These are foods that contain healthy fats. But sometimes we may, indulge in them too much. And each time I do that, and I'm feeling like I'm uncomfortable and I just need to throw some out or to just deal with some of them, what I normally do is to go to moringa and wash a few of the leaves, because this is exactly the one that is so easily washed because of the nature of the leaves. This is the moringa oleifera. Just take a handful of it. You don't have to take too much. Wash it a little because the vitamin C content is very high. If you take it on empty stomach in the morning, it can cause things like heartburn. Some people have reported it to me, and I have even experienced it some years back. So you can use it to fortify your food, like your soup. If you are someone that you need iron, you need blood, you need multivitamin, you don't have to be going for multivitamins. If you know about moringa, because most of these multivitamins, they have synthetic to deal with it. So if you are battling with any disease, whether you have blood pressure, high blood sugar, you don't have to go for synthetic foods that with synthetic iron. So this is a good source of iron. You need to just take some of the leaves, even this quantity, so wash it in a running water. Allow the acid or the green to go out a little bit. That's exactly how I use it. And then use it you can even blend it. If you have a blender, if you don't have a blender, you have a mortar. You can use your mortar manually to crush it to very smooth and use it to fortify your soup or your stew. It contains complete amino acid. You are going to sleep very well. This is one of the occasions I use it. When I start experiencing poor sleep, no deep sleep, and it continues to occur frequently. When it continues to happen like that, what I normally do is to remember moringa. I go for moringa. I use it to fortify my food, and sometimes use it as tea. You can crush it. You can wash it and pour water, a little water. Don't take too much. Then add another blood thinner like ginger, or you can add anything, even cinnamon. Anything is a blood thinner that you can add to it. It's okay. It's a welcome idea. It goes well with fatty fish because fatty fish is a blood thinner. If you take it and you take fatty fish, they go very well on such a date because it helps to cleanse the blood. It does a lot. So when I take it during those occasions, it's going to remove all the acids. If you have taken peanut, you know when you take peanut too much, it's very sweet. I mean, groundnut, that's what we call it. So if you have taken too much of the groundnut and you are suspecting your body is becoming too sluggish, and it contains fats and oils and proteins and everything, you don't know what to do. Some people say, oh, malaria has come. I'm suffering malaria. Some people say, no, it's when you overdo it. So what should you do? What I normally do is to wash it and then wash a little and boil with lemongrass. I mean the oleifera, which is popular. Wash a little to let the acid go a little off so that you can be more friendly. That's the way I take it. Then you get all the benefits. Remember, we are not talking about all those benefits. There are so many. You can go and find out yourself. There's numerous health benefits of the moringa leaves. It's not what I'm talking about. It helps me. The few ways it helps me when I'm experiencing poor sleep. It happens to menopausal women. Sometimes due to nutrient deficiency, your body is not making some hormones. You use it to balance hormone. Your body is not able to get some. Okay, for right childhood cartoon. Okay. So your body is not able to utilize some food due to incomplete amino acid. Maybe the acids are too much. They are blocking. They are not able to oxygenate your blood. Allow oxygen to get to your blood. Maybe you are low in iron, and because of this low iron, your immune system is low, and you are not able to. The oxygen is not able to push down to the cells. So many other reasons. And sometimes maybe because some minute minerals are not there. Remember, it has a lot of these vitamins and minerals. It is said to have over 300 anti-inflammatories. You know what that means? That's so much. Inflammations at all levels. So when I suspect something like that, including pains, when you first suspect pains, it may be necessary to beef up your vitamins and minerals to ensure that you are not lacking. Remember, it's very high in calcium too. It's a mineral, it's an electrolyte. So when I put all these things together, and I suspect that maybe I'm low in iron because I don't take a synthetic multivitamin for so many years now. I don't take iron, I don't take it. So I depend on natural foods like it. So then, but when you want to make it into a powdery form, once you put this one to dry, it becomes very light. Very light. It becomes a little bit so soft and tender to dry. But you see, this one is the second moringa I get. This is it. I don't know how some of you will be able to identify it, because there are so many lookalikes. But by the grace of God, I have been able to identify it. And honestly speaking, I have not gone to carry out any scientific laboratory research on it. But like I always say, the best equipment I use is to listen to my body. So the first time I began to consume moringa, it was actually this. And it was by mistake that I went for it. And I want to thank God, because it seems it was something that was organized to be like that, for me to find it out. Because every food, not that I discovered it, no, it's always been there. Mother Nature has always put it there, but someone must have to, first of all, stumble on it, or in each region or each location. So at that time, I heard of moringa, I heard of it. Then I've not had access to the fresh leaves, because some of you don't have access to these leaves, some of you in the cities. So I was actually in the big city, in Lagos. So I've read so much how to identify it and the rest of it, but I've not really been able to see it live like this. So I decided to go down to the village at that point, at that time, as far back as then. So when I got there, I began to search in the bushes to identify the particular, this other moringa. When I came across this, it looked like they have some similarities, but not exactly alike, because sometimes the soil on which the moringa, any tree or any plant grows, seem to contribute to the final outcome of it. That is what I have found out using some of these herbs. Sometimes you plant it in some location, it comes out another way. Sometimes it comes out differently in another location, depending also on the input from the soil in that particular location. So I got to get this one, and one of the things that made me identify it finally and decided to add it is, and I began to look for it, is that it's easier to dry and grind to powder than this one. This one is so tender. Look at it. When you want to dry it, before you know, everything turns out very soft, becomes even more difficult. But this one is harder on touch. So that time, when I get it and start drying it in-house, I used to dry it. Start to dry it in-house. It dries out. I normally set fire in the house, put gas lights, so the place becomes very warm, so that it can dry within 72 hours. Because if you are trying to process them, that's what a lot of people are doing. They're doing it wrongly. You have to make sure that you put enough heat to get it dried within certain hours. So I was dealing with this one. This particular one you see here. Look at it very well. I was dealing with it, and it was so good, so friendly with me. I was actually distributing it to my friends. They take it and they sleep so perfectly. I mean, the powdery form. I use my blender then. After it's so easy to dry. After drying it in-house within 72 hours. If it goes beyond that, it may have attracted mold, maybe. And then, of course, that's how I learned that most things, when you are drying most of your dry stuff or dry goods, you don't have to just leave it to dry anytime it comes out. You must have a target time when it must dry, so that you don't lose the nutrients, so that you don't attract moisture, so you don't attract other things like mold into it. But some people just dry things, you just keep it outside maybe for 5, 6, 7 days, And they say, oh, they are drying it. I wasn't doing that. I was drying this particular one because it was so easy to dry. So when I dried it, I put to blender, I grind to powder. My dear, a pinch, just a little pinch, is all I normally use. And it gives so much result. Sleep like a baby, no side effect, no whatsoever. So that was actually what I was doing until I began to see people talking about this moringa. So of course, internet was there, has always been there since that time. So I was using trying to look for this moringa. Eventually, what I was actually seeing was this one. So I began to go for it, and that was the one that we were all taking. But sometimes it appears to be a little bit acidic, more acidic. And let me also tell you the difference between the two. It is easier to use this one as a vegetable. This is the main difference between the two. As a vegetable, like you just wash it, look at, you just wash a little quantity. Look at, you just wash a little quantity. Remember, you don't have to take moringa like you are taking your regular vegetables like ugu or green. Or that is too dense. Don't have to. Little quantity is what you need. So this one is different. Why? Look at it. You can put this in a running water, for instance, depending on the size of your food. Wash it in a running water. Crush it with your mortar or your blender. However, and put it in your soup or your stew to boost its nutrients, especially if you have children and you don't have so much money to buy meat, fish, and all other things to go around. You can occasionally, twice a week or thereabout, just put it in their food to make sure they are getting sufficient iron, sufficient vitamins, sufficient minerals, and they will be looking very good. So, but this particular one is not easy for you to just go and wash in running water and then you start adding to your soup. Is the best way to do this with this one is just wash it, dry it in-house, or use your oven, or like I normally would do, I set the gas light inside the house and leave it inside the kitchen. Of course, my kitchen was not so big that time, and then I hang it around the kitchen. I hang it. So it stays for like, especially during the rainy time. If it's during sunshine like this, of course, the temperature is high. It won't take time, it will dry up, and then you just blend it so smooth, blend to powder. But this one doesn't go. So the main difference I discovered in the consumption is that this one is better used as powder. When you grind as powder, it's very better. And it seems to me to be more body friendly if you use it just little. As a matter of fact, I've had to give it to some people. And they kept asking for it, not knowing that it's not the other one. Because a lot of people are not familiar with it. They say, oh, it's moringa. A little pinch, you will sleep very well. That's how it works. You sleep very well. There may be some research still going on. Of course, we don't go to the laboratory to be carrying out most of this. But then, if you consume it, a simple pleasure you enjoy. So, but then if you consume it, you'll be able to tell how you feel about it, whether it's okay for you or not. Of course, before all the researches we are doing came up, we all have been discovering things and eating. Our ancestors have been eating some foods which they know is good and healthy, and they're passing the knowledge to the next generation that this food is good, this one is like this one is like this. Then thank God for science too. Scientific research also came to add to what we're already doing, to do further research, to know if it has side effects and other the pros and the cons of the particular food. But then, you see this one, it's also a moringa, this particular leaf. Some of you may have been weeding it away in your premises, Yes, it's a moringa. If you can dry it, my dear, go ahead. And if you have a blender, it's not easy to incorporate it and just crush it like we always do. This one is easy to look at. It's very soft. Look at. It's easy to incorporate it. Wash it. You see, it's soft. Squeeze it. Even you can squeeze the juice out of it. When you wash it in a running water, look at. You can squeeze the juice. And after washing it, if you don't even have it, you can crush it like this. After crushing it, look at. The juice is already coming out. But this juice is highly acidic. That's why I also advise that the way I normally take it is I let the running water run on it a little. So the vitamin C and the acid will go down a bit. So that your body can easily, take it. It will be okay. So besides that, my dear, the benefits of moringa is so numerous. It's so numerous. But it's not a food you should consume every day. No, most I think they say take 1 teaspoon. I don't believe in that. Take every day. Take some people, they say take morning, take evening. I don't do all of that. The best thing to do is when you feel that your immune system is low, you can't take much food, your body can't carry much weight, then exactly that is the time I go for it. Because when your body is trying to fight a disease, it definitely, most times, it's not able to carry on weight, something like calorie. So in that case, what it means is that if you can make yourself just a little cup of the moringa tea, remember it has complete amino acids, you can do it, just a little. And it goes well with fish oil supplement, because it pulls fat. And when I say fat, including cholesterol, it deals with it perfectly. Now, sometimes you feel, if I feel that my stomach is acidic, some of you know what I'm talking. You feel like there are some tightness around it. You need antioxidants to make things to move. That's exactly what I'm saying. My dear, sometimes, you know what I do? It is moringa. But by the time you start consuming it every day, you will now notice that you are even feeling like sluggish. You won't like it again. That's why I did that video. You definitely won't. I've heard people complain, no, that I should not tell them about. I remember an elderly woman who said she will never take it again. This woman, she suffers high blood pressure. Oh my God. So let's continue with our life. I have to take a call. It's still part of the Christmas stuff. So let's continue to talk. I was talking on the 2 species of moringa that we are taking, that I'm taking. That I'm showing us that this one, occasions when I take it, moringa oleifera, when I take it, it's not every day. When I feel acidic, when I'm not sleeping fine, I take it. When my energy is low, maybe it's the micronutrients, I take it. When I feel my body, the toll in my body is too much and I need to slow down on animal protein, I take it to get complete amino acid. So that when I think I need to deal with even cholesterol, I take it. But there are also some times when I just think I need, to reduce calorie in my diet. Maybe I want to lose weight. I'm feeling too sluggish. I also go for it. But besides all of this, I leave it out, and I often make sure that I take something like fish oil. Yes, most of that time, because it tends to work with fat. Something that is high in vitamin C and other antioxidants, micronutrients, anti-inflammatories, and the rest of it. So I normally do it. But do you see this one? This one is best dried and ground to powder and taken to fortify your foods or as tea. That is it. This second moringa. A lot of people are not familiar with it. And the way I even came across it, about it, is still a mystery to me, because this is something I was actually getting to look for this. And what I actually got found was mistakenly this. And I was actually enjoying it for quite a long time, around 2013, 2012 and 2013, before the popularity of this one reached me. I wouldn't say it was discovered because it became popular. Some of you, if you are familiar with when we began to talk of moringa, you will trace, especially within this our region where we are. It was about that time a lot of us got to know, and more researches began to go on about the moringa oleifera, and we began to consume it. I had some labels, some handbills that I made educating people about this moringa oleifera. But what name exactly? What is the botanical name for this type of moringa? Honestly, up to as I speak, I do not even know. But what I do know is that because of the tiny nature of the leaves, looking like moringa, that was what brought about this one. And then it's also so dense. So, but if you ask me, it's far more friendly to me. And I repeat, far more friendly. The only major difference, again, is that you cannot just pick it. You can see how it is. You can't just pick it like this and crush and put inside your soup like you would do this moringa oleifera. You can see it. This one is best dried and ground to powder and taking little to fortify your food, just a little, whether it's tea. And of course, definitely not every day. It's something that you will take, you'll be so glad, especially if you're battling with any ailment, whatever, whether it's arthritis. As a matter of fact, during those days, when I first found it out, it was actually this moringa, this one. I was having pain around this joint. I couldn't lift my hand up like this. I think it was during those menopausal years. I was about 50 then, or 49. I couldn't lift it up. And it was difficult to take milk because milk was something that is said to clog arteries. You know, this one does not clog arteries, the two of them either. None of them does clog because they are plant-based. So when you are going through arthritis, they say you need calcium, you need this, you need that. But then most of those things we are looking for are found in milk, cow's milk. And of course, you know, it does not help your cholesterol level. It does not help your inflammations. It's even inflammatory. So it's already out of the way. So I had problem then trying to deal with that painful hand that couldn't lift my hand because of the pain. Some people are going through such pains, maybe due to low minerals. Certain minerals are missing, even zinc. Little minerals, when they are not there, they create problems, big problems. Just little thing that you need. And a lot of us will be running around looking for medications. So it was actually this one, that time, that I used to grind to powder after drying it in-house, grind to powder and then stock it and use it just a little. So it's good for diabetics. Oh my God. It's great for diabetics. Super for diabetics. It's good for high blood pressure too. Because I remember my mom then, I used it for her. And during that period, I was using it to fortify her food. She looked so cute. I mean, when I was using it, she felt so well. The hairs, it made the hair come out very well. Everywhere looking so, you see life. The collagen, everything was out. Because it's one of foods also that helps your body to make collagen, to balance hormones. It does a lot. Only when you do not take it in excess. Now, when you take it in excess, when you start taking it every day, I tell you some of the things that happened then that even made me to apply a break. I remember I was taking it almost every day then. I was enjoying it. And it's normal for you when you are enjoying certain food that you just tend to eat until your body gives you a signal. It was while I was taking it on a daily basis, I started experiencing something like shaky tooth. My tooth began to shake. Some of you may know what I'm talking about. So the tooth began to shake. And maybe I may suggest what may have been the reason for it. So what may have, let me also say that I could guess, what may have been responsible for the aching tooth. Have